Am I live? Okay. Hi, everybody. Elsie Clements here with another Thursday writing live stream. And we're just going to give a few minutes. I just updated my Twitter page, see how everybody's doing. And YouTube just updated, which is pretty shocking considering this is YouTube and YouTube usually takes forever. But I guess weekday streams um, are updated faster than the weekend streams, which I think is because people have more time on the weekend. Um, dear, I was going to tell you to turn the air conditioner on because I'm sweating like crazy. And this is a writing stream to do sprints. I am doing something a little different since this month I'm trying to focus on Save the Cat for NaNoWriMo and all my other book writing. I find it very, very I didn't know that, this is the reason why I have sagging middles or sagging act twos. And this explains why why your act two can drag. And I'm glad it tells me how my act two can stop it. How my act two can drag. So stop. So I'm just gonna give a few minutes, see if people jump in. Just give a few minutes for people to get in. We're gonna get started with our first stream in just a second. We're just gonna give it a few minutes. Give it just another minute before we start with our first sprint. So for my sprint, I'm going to be catching up on this. Gives everybody, I can, 15 minutes at a time shouldn't be much of a problem. And it seems like there's a lot of information just squeezed into this one thing. I forgot to get my bottled water out the freezer. Should be, can get, stop it. So let's get ready to get started in just a second. And thank you, dear. All right, let's get started with our cat. Let's get started with the first sprint. It's going to be the first 20 minute, 15-minute sprint. And we got 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's the end of the stream. Well, not the stream. Sorry, that was the end of the sprint. How did everybody do? It doesn't look like. Wow, nobody showed up. Let's see. Trying to see. I'm thinking about the next time because there's nobody really. This might just be my update videos more than timer videos at this point, especially with people not really attending. Huh. On my Twitter page, it said there's this person called Warp Speed Odyssey. Don't have a book yet, but I want to check. This website actually looks interesting. Actually, to be honest, this website is way better than mine. I don't know if she uses Wix or something. Might have to like this person. Let me just follow them back. This is interesting. Hold your feet, we hold to near your feet. We can high ground. I'm just see. Okay, so we're gonna get started with another timer in a minute. Just check something real quick. We'll get started in a minute. I got a lot of like songs. Let's get started with another sprint in just a second. What? I can't find this. All right, I'm just. No, I don't know where that thing is. All right. All right, let's get started with another sprint. Because I feel I'm not going to find this song. It's going to be like afterwards. All right, let's switch this over. Screen share. And it's probably on your side. Hmm. Well, don't go tearing out the room looking for something. Start it in 3, 2, 1. Because That's the end of the sprint. How did everybody do? Still hanging in there with Save the Cat, which, oh no, 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 no. Right now, I lost my place. Okay, here we go. Dark Night of the Souls, where I left off. Kind of need to invest in a darn bookmark. Probably should just crochet one. Um, how did everybody do? How's that even work? You're trying to. Jeez. Now I was researching real quick Pride and Prejudice and zombies. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I had that book on there. Everybody's like, this book is awful. To be honest, I never even really got to Pride and Prejudice, even though that's like the book, the romance novel of the century. Most lit nerds, unlike myself, actually love it. I never really sat through it. I never really had the energy to get to that book, and I think it's because certain romance, depending on the topic of romance, kind of tick me off after a while because I already kind of know what's going to happen. I didn't even read Pride and Prejudice in about the first 3 chapters. I'm like, okay, I know what's going to happen. Like when you get too predictable, I can't read it. Same with like 50 Shades, I could not get through the first 3 paragraphs. And I'm like, this is grammatically awful. The characterization is awful. And no one has still answered the question for any 50 Shades fans out there. What does Christian do besides stalk Anastasia? Like, seriously, like, what do you do besides besides the kinky sex? Like, what do you do? I know he's a CEO of a big company, but they don't say what the company is. All we know is, oh, he's gonna be Captain Save a Chick and go save Anastasia from, which I will admit, the guy was creep. Here we go. Guy's a creep, but it's just like, okay, it's just the timing of everything that happens. I'm sitting there going, what do you do besides stalk Anastasia? What is your primary job? No one even knows what the primary job is. So that's where I think I got something on my Suicide Squad shirt. That's where I just kind of go. And I unfortunately sat through those movies with my sister. I said, okay, since I love you and you're my sister, since I love you and you are my sister, I will go bear through these movies. Those movies were god awful. I mean, I can't even blame the actors. It was the director. They were trying to go line by line for this darn book, and it was just like, oh dear God, this is just bad. This is bad. That's it. I mean, I'm sure they ramped down all the other some kinky stuff that happens, but my goodness. It's like the characterization is awful. And I know it's a Twilight fan fiction that got turned into, all they did was change the characters. Which leads me into something else, because I was thinking about this podcast episode. It's about the Omegaverse lawsuit. Yeah, that was just dumb. That whole thing was dumb. It was all about someone stole someone else's story, but it was like plagiarism. But it's not really plagiarism. You can't really call it plagiarism when your stories are two different characters, two different settings, just happen to have the genre of have sex with someone. Doesn't work like that. Anyway, let's get started with another sprint. It's been about 5 minutes. Let's take this over. All right, get this up. Nope, there we go. All right. All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, that is the end of the sprint. How did everybody do? Um, I think I'm gonna do one more sprint, and that's gonna be the last one of the night. One, I'm at my almost at my limit for StreamYard, and two, there's nobody really watching. Like, there's nobody watching at all, which is fine. You know, you can't. People can't make every last one of these. So I'm gonna just pull this up here. But I know, like, I'm not gonna give up on the stream. Like, I'm gonna do it next week. Then I got my Saturday stream, so it's not like it just might be a bad night. It happens to everybody. So I am checking to see if I think Thursday's just bad days. I think I know there's a lot of all right, I'm gonna make this my last one. Let me just pull up my timer. All right, last sprint of the night. Oh, oh, hey Charlie. There's nothing. Oh, I didn't even. It just popped up your comments. There's nothing wrong with being late at all. It's just it's been a long. I started at 8:30, and this is probably the last half hour of my stream. Ugh, arms are killing me. So let's see. I'm gonna do you're on for the last sprint of the night, which is fine. I do pick this up Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern time because I only stream from Thursdays from 8:30 to 10:30, and then I do Saturdays 11:30 to 1. No, I'm sorry, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. Why did I say 11:30? But you are at least in time for the last sprint of the night. Just pull up. So I'm gonna pull up the last thing here. And it's fine just being late. You know, it happens. I don't even worry about it. But let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Oh crap, that's a mosquito. Gotcha. No. Oh, okay. So that was the last sprint of the night, and you did an 8-hour stream. I applaud you because there's no way. There is no way I'm doing 8 hours. Ugh. You see under my eyes, I'm really tired. Did you manage to get any sprinting done? Let's see, where is it? Did you manage to get any sprinting done? Because right now I'm doing see catch up on this, trying to write notes, and so I can do more outlining with a second draft I was working on. Probably redo that, and the NaNoWriMo Preptober is coming up, so I have to get stuff prepared. And I'm also debating if it's even do I even need to do sprints for Preptober? Got a lot on my plate. But how did you do, sprint wise? Orla Heart's Anthology. I've never heard of Orla Heart. Is this like a sci-fi that you're working on? Maybe. I am exhausted. Oh, I'm so sleepy. Probably need to charge my. There's a lot of Disney piano collections out there. Maybe I'll listen to that another time. Um, I do want to thank you for showing up. It's author to the anthology. Oh, it's an author to the anthology. The stories have to be about 5 minutes, whatever it means to. Hmm. Let's see. You're talking about doing a forever stream for the launch of Preptober to get the beat sheets filled out. I can't do it forever stream. I barely do the mill wordy thing. I'm like, look, I work for a living. That's how I'm starting to, and I know I shouldn't be like that because our dream is to actually be full-time writers, but I'm like, look, I work for a living, okay? I do enough paperwork. Hmm. Orla Hart. Let me look that up. Someday my prince will come. Someday we'll meet again. I know you. I walked with you once upon a dream. I know you. The human eyes are so familiar of me. And I know. Sorry, I got the song in my head. Sorry. My ears. It's true. I'm gonna subscribe to the channel. They see, but if I know you. I don't know why they have her singing opera the whole time. I loved you at once the way you did once upon a dream. Oh, no, no. lot of fun writing a story. 5 minutes. Jeez, I don't even know how I can write 5-minute story. Know you, I know what you do. You love me at once. Oh, this person's from the UK. Oh, this person's new. Okay, that's new. This person's new. And what if I know? Thank you. I'm actually pitchy, but that's one song I knew in my head for the longest time. But thank you. Charlie Dorset. Let me describe your channel too. Give me just a second. I'm wishing for the one I love to find me. And scribbles. Fanfiction Fridays. Okay, that's funny. Actually, what's funny is 750 words. That's that might be a challenge. What's actually funny is you say that, like the song that Once Upon a Dream. It's really funny because my husband actually hates when I sing Part of Your World. Like, then again, everybody loves that song, and I'm kind of cringing at what the remake's gonna be like. Because one, Mulan bombed. I'm glad I did not go see that. I mean, I used my sister's Disney Plus account, but as soon as they said $30, I was like, screw you, Disney. I'm not paying $30 for another remake because your remakes have sucked. Even Cinderella, which people call light in comparison to all the other ones, I didn't like. Then they ruined the I'm not even talking about the Lion King. Lion King, I was like, as soon as I heard that the Beehive was part of this, I'm not going to say it. I don't want no Bay heat, so I'm not going to really go there. But the Bajan scene, will you stop before you get the Beehive on me? The Beehive is real. That's not what the Bee. Never mind. Bay can't act, so and then Beauty and the Beast they ruined. Soon as and the worst part is the girl I know is the girl who played Hermione on Harry Potter. She looked like Belle, but the first three seconds of her singing, I was like, "Oh, honey, you can't sing at all." I'm glad I saw that on bootleg. I was like, "Oh, you just saw my face. My face was like, oh, honey, you can't sing. You can't sing." And then what killed me was Madame Garderobe, who is the wardrobe. She's an opera singer. She won Grammys and stuff. We give her two. They give her one song, and then she sings like barely half a line of the Beauty and the Beast song before they give it to Nanny McPhee, which I was like, I will admit, her singing wasn't bad, but it was like, you have an opera singer and you don't even use her. You didn't even use her. Lion King was the same movie that they did in the 90s. Nothing was different. I thought at least, maybe they would do the Broadway musical version, which was amazing. No. And then they did the cardinal sin of making Be Prepared acting monologue rather than a singing song when the guy who plays Scar can sing. I'm like, Disney, what are you doing, people? I know why they did Mulan the way they did, which is an action movie, because they pissed off Hong Kong. So I understand that. Though, because during the Hong Kong protests, they you know what? I will say this. I know why the actor said he was for the police, because that country's communist and he didn't want to go get shot, because they probably would have took him in the back room and killed him. I just wish they didn't promote that around the world, but it is what it is. The only one I really liked was controversially enough, even though I had nitpicks with it, was Aladdin. Because one, Will Smith did a great job. I don't care what nobody says. He did his own spin on it. I know everybody loved Robin Williams. God rest his soul. He did his own spin on it. It was fine. The only part I hated, even though I loved Speechless, was the fact that she goes through all this and then she gets I'm like, wait a minute, did you really just do that? So you sang Speechless like I will never go speechless. One, they didn't even give her a fighting scene because she's apparently knew how to sword fight. And then two, she gets captured 2 minutes after singing I will never go speechless. I was like, okay, Disney, whatever. You know, you guys are gonna do what you want to do. And then Mulan was terrible. So I don't know what the next slide. I know Little Mermaid's coming up. I have no problems with being a black Ariel because I know their political agenda against this. Because let's be honest, Disney is not for minorities or the LGBT like they say they are. So, you know, that's Disney's hypocrisy. What? No, Ariel's black in this version. Apparently, in the live action, a redheaded black person. The original Ariel was blonde and blue. There's a version of the Little Mermaid around the world. So technically, yes, there could be a black Ariel. There's an actual African version of the Little Mermaid. There is a Chinese version. There's one where Ariel actually turns into sea foam. There's one where there's so many versions of that story. There's one where she eats them. So I know we're not accepting. I'm just saying that there's 20 different versions of the Little Mermaid. But I know what they're trying to do. I don't know why they didn't use Friend Like Me. I thought when I saw Little Mermaid, Aladdin, I thought they were what I thought, in my personal opinion, what they were doing was I think they were kind of copying off the musical. And you can tell. I saw the musical. I'm a musical girl. I've seen the musical, so I kind of knew what they were going for, and which is why it baffles me that they didn't do that with The Lion King. I'm like, if you're going to make a live action, you might as well add in elements from the musical like Aladdin did. Aladdin did the same thing, even though people kind of go, but people don't hate Aladdin the way they hated The Lion King. Even though I did love Spirit, I will say that. I like some of her hit songs. I did like Spirit, but I did not watch her Black is King documentary. I don't think I want to watch it. It just looked like, I don't know, some part of me like, is this going to be one of those artistic cringe fests where you kind of fake smile at it, but you know it's back your head, it's kind of bad? Yeah, that's what you have to do now. You want people like you. That's sort of like my whole origin of me starting with fan fiction, and it was a Sailor Moon fan fiction. I remember because the girl's hair was pink and stuff, and my dad said, "Why don't you ever make a black person?" I'm like, "Because Dad, Sailor Moon is not black." He's like, "Why can't you make a black person? Why can't there be a black why can't there be a black protagonist?" And that's when I started making my characters black. So there's no girl of color who's gonna have puffy afros like this and have the little things on her like Usagi does. Actually, her behavior would be completely different, but that's another story. That's a whole video I can make about that. In fact, I think I might get murdered if I ever were to do a my own version of a reboot of Sailor Moon. I think the Moonies will actually kill me because I am a Moonie. Why is her hair okay? I'm just saying. Actually, you know what? The remake of Cinderella wasn't terrible. It was just plot holy because there was stuff that didn't make sense. And I think they tried, like Kevin Branagh, for all of his stuff, for all of that, what he does. I will say he does come up, like when he does the Shakespearean, like when he did Hamlet, I loved him in Hamlet. That was one of his best. When he did Othello, that was fine. It's just that I think he was trying to connect something that people didn't really think about till adulthood. Like the whole story of Cinderella is, why don't you just leave? If they are treating you horrible, why don't you just leave? But I will say the Kate Blanchett did a great job as the stepmother. She did play off, the reason why she doesn't chase Cinderella isn't really because of her beauty like in the cartoon. She hates her because her husband, the man she married, keeps comparing him to his first wife. And since she looks like the first wife, she went and married him. She overheard a conversation, which was of her. He's like, I miss her every day, but you don't went and marry somebody else. And she's already done lost her husband. So of course she's hurt. Now, her actions are not justifiable by any means, but there were points in the movie where I kind of got why she did or why Cinderella did. But Cinderella bothered me. We probably would have good conversations. Like if we ever did I'll check your YouTube page. I'm getting ready to get off anyway. I'm just pointing out some plot things. If with Cinderella, like I'm just saying, when it came to that movie, because I just watched it a second time. No, a third. This is my third time watching it. I kind of got the plot points now that I'm going from a writer's perspective, what they were trying to do. With this, what bothered me about Cinderella, like she was an adult, so yes, she could have left. That was the whole point. Like she could have left at any point. That was one of the things people said. The other thing is, I know it's part of the reason why Cinderella got caught is because she's going, oh, I'm gonna act flitty like an idiot around the people that hate me. So of course the stepmom's gonna think, hey, something's going on. Though it is questionable how she found that glass slipper in the floorboard. I don't know if she watched her. I might have to watch that again, but I don't know how she found it. I don't know how, but her smashing the glass slipper was kind of an evil moment. And then all she does is go, I'm gonna twirl around and somehow the prince can hear you from 7 stories up in the attic because the mice opened the window. I'm like, oh dear. And they're trying to say Cinderella got herself out of that situation. I'm sitting there going, she didn't get herself out of that situation. It was an accident because this is where my crux of the plotting goes. She could have left at any. Stop booping me. She could have left at any time, and she didn't. I think that's where it bothered me. She could have left. I mean, for goodness sakes, she's beautiful. She's educated. Instead, I know this is not supposed to be a feminist moment, because the timeline or the century she's in, but she could have married somebody else. I mean, I get she loves kids, and I get that in this one, the Grand Duke is supposed to be an asshole in this one. Just, I don't know. I think they were putting too much realism mixed with mysticism, and, well, it's Disney. I get it. Dreams are supposed to come true. That's an idea. I have an idea. I've had an idea for years how I would do it, but it would take place after the storyline. Like, when there's a part after the Dark Moon. That after Queen Galaxia. I don't know if you read the manga. I read the manga series, which is why I can watch Crystal somewhat, even though the animation is bullshit at this point. Galaxia is the embodiment of all evil. You can't destroy evil, so that's a whole different storyline. She's a witch. All 7 others are witches. I think it depends, because I've read some stories where Cinderella, a retelling, it was from, what was her name? Megan Callier. I think it was Megan Callier's version of Cinderella. But yeah, all Disney stepmothers for some reason have to be witches, but that's because Walt had a problem with his mama. Well, no, he didn't have a problem with his mother. His mother died, and he had a thing. Just like his obsession with death, supposedly. I saw one version where the stepmom wasn't really being evil. She just didn't. By the time she married Cinderella's father, she was already a teenager. So their relationship was different. She let Cinderella run the household because she didn't know how to run the household. Because the husband died, and she didn't know how to run, the farm and all that stuff. She left that to Cinderella because Cinderella could do all that stuff. I think her name was Ella in that version. I think it was the General Prince. I cannot remember that story. Darn it. But it was a YA retelling. This person does fairy tale retellings with this one fairy who's trying to find this great mage, but I haven't finished reading it. I got to get back to that. But in that version, she doesn't hate Cinderella. We don't have an animosity between two of them. It's just that it was hard to reform a relationship because Cindy's already 16 at this point. She's 15, 16 years old. She lost her dad, and the stepmom didn't know how to run the farm because Cindy's father taught Cindy, did not expect his wife to die. So their relationship is different. Even they don't have animosity. There's an awkwardness between them, but there's no I hate you and you need to go somewhere and live up in the attic. It was never like that. Yeah, Walt had some problems, and he was kind of a dick to some of his employees, to a good chunk of his employees. Like, he was a huge fucking dick to them. And that was some videos I saw. It wasn't Yesterworld who did it. Because there's this, what are it called? Yesterworld Entertainment? Darn it. Yeah, there's a Yesterworld Entertainment that does old discontinued rides and legends, like from Carl, not just there, and Defunctland. Like Yesterworld and Defunctland are the two that really talk about it. But there's a woman called Aska Mortician who really talked about Walt Disney's problems and obsession with death and stuff. So yeah, that was great. Oh geez, it's getting late. All right, I'm gonna cut the stream, but thank you, Charlie, for showing up. I'm gonna pop over to your channel when I get a chance and look at all your information. But I did enjoy having a conversation with you. I'm probably gonna have to find a way to send you a message or what have you. The problem with me streaming is during the week I work 11:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time, which is why I stream later in the night. And then I'm free for most weekends, but I know I stream. I definitely will be back Saturday at 11 a.m. because I stream from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So I would just have to message you back and forth, because my social media links are down below. Like, if you ever DM me on Twitter, I probably will get back to you because my Facebook is dead. I really need to get back to that Facebook page, but I just don't have the energy. I do not have the mental energy right now. I'm always on the computer as it is at work. But I do want to thank you, Charlie, for showing up. I'm going to go, but I will be back Saturday. I'll be back Saturday. Thanks. Bye-bye.